Welcome, everybody. We are here for a game. We've finally got one started here. It's we apologize for the delay, but on Stream C, we are diving into round one of the North American Swiss bracket. There should be up to 8 rounds potentially this afternoon as teams battle it out against each other, and a beautiful shot opening things up from Shock OD to kick things off and a point onto their board.
That is on Team
wrong
Stellar.
arena.
This is going to be Ruin and Stellar, by the way. Hi, I'm Aiden VR. And
oh, thank you. Yeah,
I
forgot.
It's in the hands of Ruin now. Bebo going to go for a pass over to EB Spark. Spark, pass over to Grim. Grim go for the shot, and there it is, the first goal for Ruin. Looking good so far, guys, on both teams, actually.
Yeah, I
got a lot of squads playing out this afternoon as we do get into that 1-1. And yeah, into that midfield cross. Little battle over the ball here as Bebo is going to get down and slot one in for Rune. That's their second point on the board, up 2-1 here. I don't think I have this round timer quite right, but we will knock it down to be pretty close to accurate as we do get a little bit deeper into round one.
Yeah, as we do get deeper into round one, it's a grab over by Spark. Spark is taking it down, going for another open goal opportunity, and it is in once again.
Unbelievable! They've done it!
Gotta say, that was a grand slam of a goal. Nice offensive play from Ruin. But Stellar does have that defensive play.
They just got booted.
We have a few tech issues. Yep, it's okay. There's going to be plenty of technical hiccups there. I think they started their game a little too early, and it got changed to a different matchup. I'm not quite sure precisely what happened there. We're going to have some tech issues this afternoon. I can tell you that right now. One thing to forewarn you with in the 4v4 build for North America is that there is a couple of technical details that haven't been ironed out. It's still very much in early access. We have limited people able to enter in, but to say that's limited is that there's 54 games being played live right now at the same time, all being managed by our moderation team, and it's not easy. We do have one round that just finished over in a new arena. We will continue on with this game. Crane Gain and Shock OD was the original match we were going to tune into. So we do apologize for bouncing around to and fro from different games, but that first round that they jumped into just finished. We'll eventually get the scores reported in and know what that score was, but for now we will wait. And when round 2 starts, we will dive into the action. Retro, thanks for joining us as well this afternoon. We didn't really get a chance to do intro because the game just started right away. But, Aiden and Retro on the caster desk this afternoon. Retro, how are you feeling for our first round of the NA Swiss bracket?
I gotta say, it's gonna be an amazing one. These NA teams are just brilliant entirely on how they play. Some of them been playing since the start of the game. Some of them been playing like since closed early access. It's gonna be a fun one with a lot of teams, a lot of new players coming to competitive here. Gotta say, it's gonna be brilliant.
Sizing up their opening moves.
Yeah.
Round 2 about to kick off between Crane Gang and Shock OD as the ball gets set into the middle, and we'll have our clock start accurate
Hold
to
on
launch
your
things
hardballs,
off
friends. It's
into
go
the first
time.
round.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. We got Crane Gang and we got Shock going in, playing this round here. Looks like Mr. Alfredo takes possession of the ball, passing it. Gotta say W pass play right there. Gotta love the pass play. But he just gets snatched just like that. Gotta hate it. Gotta hate it. But you know that's the name of the game. It's mostly back and forth, but. Gotta say, gotta love that offensive and defensive play. Nice pass right there. Almost in. Yeah.
I'm in the wrong arena.
Think you are indeed, as we do get into the action here. The Big Mac and Fizzin battling for control in the corner. Slotted over to the midfield. And battling for it up over the top of Sewer. Crane Gang finally getting pressured here by the likes of Shock OD, as no goal has been secured yet in round 1. Gooblin looking to push up. That one gets knocked away by the top geometry. An unfortunate shot attempt that gets denied by the arena. And the pass work pretty on point here so far as a nice interrupt from the Big Mac comes in. Goblin going to be there to scoop it up, keep things in the midfield and not allow it to get into the back of their zone. And now maybe the push coming in from Baz up through that midfield. Baz looking for the jukes, dodging through the entire defense, but Chitties is there to knock it away.
Yeah,
That-
let's
that
get
was-
that one. Oh, go ahead.
That was brilliant right there. We're still at 0-0 here, and just both teams are playing really good defensive play. We just gotta love that because they need to, secure both sides. Looks like Mr. Gooblin has the possession of the ball, going straight up the goal, pushing it right to Bridge. Could that be a pass to his teammate? It's gonna be a possession to the other side. So Alfredo's taking this nice little ceiling carve right there. Ceiling carves is one of the most important mechanics in the game. But yeah, I think these teams have it secured down with their geometry and where they need to go. Yeah.
Fizz scoops it up, tosses it up through that midfield. The Op looking for a pass over to Goblin. Goblin with a shot down, and no, it misses wide. Alfredo able to scoop it up into the corner. Tries to push things over. Goblin with ball control. Can't quite get to the midfield. Slapped away down underneath to the Sewer, and the Yop keeps things into the hands of Crane Gang. Crane Gang won last round 4-1, so they have a round in their pocket in this best of 5. But so far, nobody's scored yet, and we're almost 3 minutes into the round.
Almost 3 minutes in. It's picked up by Gooblin. Gonna kill it absolutely across the field. Gonna be picked up by Rosa Sparks. And it goes up into Baz. Baz and Fizzin going down. Gets pressured by Alfredo. It goes back. Baz trying to get possession of it. Gonna move it around. Currently, Shock has possession of the disc. Or ball. Echo.
Possession of the ball. We get those a little mixed up.
Yeah.
Goblin's taking possession, almost in right there. Gotta say, almost. Ooh, nice defensive play right at the goal. Looks like they're gonna be taking it right on up to Nest, going straight down. Could this be his grand slam into the goal? And boom!
It's a goal.
Gotta love it, folks. Gotta love
Crane
it.
Gang. Looking good so
Gang
far.
with the first
What a
point.
pass.
Actually starts in. Oh, it's on.
Yep, and we'll sort out things here soon as we do get a nice cross up to the center there, knocked down to the midfield, and a shot on goal that goes a bit wide. As Baz working over to the side angle, and Alfredo gaining some control down by Sewers. Big Mac and Alfredo over into the corner, looking for a setup onto the play. Nice cross to the midfield, but nobody's home. Chitties doesn't push out, and instead, ball gets slapped away for Sargent Just knock it up into that top high ground through that midfield. And again, just trying to set up for an offensive push. Some nice pass work here. As that goes a touch wide, and the Big Mac disrupts the pass towards Baz.
Looks like they're taking possession. Mr. Yup has possession of the ball. It is still 1-0. We are at 30 seconds in the game. This does get a little intense, but I think Shock could take this back, and this could go into overtime, I think. Looks like they're going to be taking possession. Nice passing play right there. Going straight in. Oh, it is open. Oh, so close.
Oh my God.
Boom, right in. Gotta love
What
it.
a goal!
Yeah, Crane Gang. No, up 2-0. Looking really good
We're
so
back
far.
on it.
I
Here
honestly
we
did
go.
not expect that from this team.
Round
Their
two.
passes are insane.
Yeah, about to be over, though, as time ticks down.
What a
As soon as the
game.
ball touches the
What a
ground,
moment.
it's another round into the hands of Crane Gang. Their second round in this best of 5. If they win one more, then we move on to another series. But for now, a nice bit of back and forth. And yeah, I mean, Retro, I'm wondering if this is what you expected tuning into the NA side when we look at these highlights. Some great pass work and ultimately great persistence, good defense, and finally some good goals.
Yeah, I gotta say this match did have a bunch of just passing plays, a bunch of defensive plays from these teams, just working together entirely, just the secure in general. Crane Gang did amazing. Shock also did really, really, really good, I have to admit. They did really good with their defensive play, just keeping them at bay, so they just couldn't get it in the goal. But, it's fine. It's fine. It happens. But I got to say, the next round is going to be really entertaining indeed.
Yeah. Well said, honestly. Nightfire, any...
Getting ready to dive into round number 3 here soon enough. There's only a minute time between each round, so we do appreciate you patiently waiting with us. And here we go into round number 3 with, again, Crane Gang in a comfortable position right now with 2 wins
Let it
locked
rip.
in, 4-0 and 2-0. It's looking good for them going into round number 3, 0-0 with our round just started. And already a bit of pressure into that back corner on Shaco D's zone, but Baz able to regain control, keeps that pressure going. A nice cross up to the top. Fizz looking for the shot down onto the goal, and they just miss it a little wide. The pressure from the goalie forces that mismaneuver. Goblin tries to cross to the up, and again looking for a shot on goal. Baz finds the rebound, bounces it down, and finally the point locked in for Crane Gang. An early point again, the first to score. We'll see if Shaco D can put a answer back
We're
on the
live
board
once more.
with their offensive rollout.
Gotta say that play right there with the ricochet shot from going slam down, going straight into the goal was really amazing. That was really well coordinated right there. Looks like the ball is just gonna be in possession over here onto their side. Just playing a little back and forth right now. Looks like Alfredo has been taking possession of the ball, going straight up the bridge, chucking it in, almost misses. Oh, boom in it, right back to their side. Gotta love it.
Gotta love it indeed.
Looks like Mr. Mac has possession of the ball, going it down. Could this be in? Oh, nice defensive play from Baz right there.
Yeah, nice play indeed,
Love
as
this.
it's a little brawl for it in the middle as it gets picked up by CTG. Pass over to the Yop. It's a long shot going in the goal. Oh my God, it is. What a shot.
Oh,
from
that was
Crane.
amazing. That was brilliant.
It was.
Just a big old
Balls
score.
in motion.
And he did that with his backhand too.
Long range open shot locked in from a distance. Another good clear here, pushing it down into Shaco D's zone, and another shot locked in as Crane Gang start to run away with the momentum. 2 rounds in a row, now a 3-0 lead. Shaco D needed a successful offensive rollout here. Let's see if they can put a couple of passes together as that one gets tossed over to Alfredo. Another cross back over to the midfield to Chitties, and Rosa was looking for a pass down to them for a shot on goal, and instead, goal's empty and open. Goblin's going to put one in. Crane Gang piles onto the lead, 2 away from a mercy.
Could this be a mercy, folks? I think Shock does have a bit more time to
Drift ball
get this in
resumed.
order if they wanted
True.
to. I think they can get this in the amount of time that they have. They can get a couple more points. Maybe they can try to possibly get it into overtime. But gotta say, both teams are doing pretty great with their passings and stuff. Looks like they're just gonna be taking possession of the ball right there. Zoom in, Goblins throwing it down, almost in. Oh, yeah, gotta love it. They're gonna be booming that straight to the corner right there. Throwing it, nice passing play straight to his teammate. Doesn't really work out that well. Rushing towards that goal. The ball is just going everywhere. So Mr. Alfredo does have possession of the ball. Going back, throwing it to his teammates. But just overall, it's just not going to work out that well. Almost a long shot.
Yeah, almost another long shot there as it gets picked up once again by Goblin. Goblin to Baz. Baz with the cut, trying to hit it in. 3 defenders hop on, though, and it's picked up by Fizzes, who just slams that one right in.
One more to go, and we've got ourselves a mercy here for Crane Gang as they pile points onto the board, and a nice cross up to the top. Captain going to try and find their angle, and it's intercepted by the Yop. Quickly scooped up by Baz, cleared down to the midfield. You can see the defense already rolling back to the goal as that shot attempt goes deep. Fizz tries to slap it down from the top, but can't quite, and Chitties regains control in the corner, looking to clear it out for their team, but they're overwhelmed by the tackles and defensive force of Crane Gang.
Gotta say, I do love how Crane Gang does do the pressures with the ball, really get into their heads there. Just doesn't give them time to breathe here, and that is kind of the aim of the game is to keep them at bay, pressure the other team, and try to get points, but also defending at the same time. But it looks like Alfredo does take possession of the ball, throwing it to his teammates. Ooh. Big Mac does take possession right here, going straight from the logo, just in this corner, rushing over. We are still at 5-0 right now with 13 seconds on the board. We are almost at end game. It looks like Biz has possession of the ball. The ball is just going airborne. Goblin's taking possession. Could this be a mercy? Throwing it up to his teammates. Could this be in? With a grand slam from Goblin. Big old boom. Going to a win from Crane Gang.
Solid job as they go up 3-0 in their best of 5 to be our first winner on Stream C. We have 4 broadcasts live right now, so multiple games to tune into. We'd love to see you stop by across all of those channels. Open them all up. Watch 4 Orion Drift games live at the same time. We're going to take our time to see if we can jump into another arena, another match. But until then, do not go anywhere. It's just going to be a brief break, and we'll be right back with more NA Pioneer Cup. welcome back, everybody. We are getting ready to jump into Planet Seekers versus God Squad. Round 1 went to went to God Squad. Round 2 went to Planet Seekers. Round 3 just finished, and we'll find out that score line shortly. But we are going to tune in to round number 4, which should be coming up any a second now. And so we do appreciate your patience in what has been a up and down afternoon across both regions, quite frankly. But either way, we are, again, getting into a new series here, one that's already in progress. The way that this works is there is over 50 games getting played live right now for the NA Pioneer Cup tournament. And that is, by and large, I think our largest tournament we've ever run in North America in the VRML. So it's an awesome achievement. And here we go, ready to dive into round number 1 with that serve kicking off through the center. And actually, technically, round 3. I'll go ahead and get that score line of round 3 now. But either way, Ducky and VR looking for possession early. And Planet Seekers actually on the blue team, God Squad in red.
Yeah, so as he just said, God Squad in red, blue is Planet Seekers. It's Tilo bringing it down, going for a pass over to the left side, not exactly going to get it. It's going to be picked up by Mr. Genix. It's going to go above, and it's going to be Ducky going for a toss up. Parker picking that back up. It's RKM putting that one over down. It's one shot. Moving it forward now through, gets all the way through on the nest now, going for the shot, and RKM with the save and the kick out.
Really nice save, little tackle there from one shot is Tello now with some good dribbling on the ball control. Gonna go for the 1v1, shot into the corner, and they make it off of the corner bar. The first point into the hand of God Squad. They're up 2 rounds to 1 in this best of 5. That's the reported scoreline. And so Planet Seekers on their back foot now, down a point and down a round.
Yeah, but they're not out yet. There's still plenty of time left. Ducky in VR moving it forward, going up on the nest. No passes available, just going to go for the shot. Mr. Genix with the save. One shot, kicking it all the way out. It's Tello now going up, and looks like it's PS Parker trying to end it off, but Tilo once again going up, trying to find a pass to the middle. On logo, it's Ducky. Ducky going for the shot. That's
Nice
save once again from Mr. Genix. Take it away.
Really nice stall there, and Mr. Genix now going to roll up along the side, going to run from the save all the way up to an attempt on goal, and that one does get denied. RKM swatting it away on the back line. Mr. Gene trying to keep it into the corner as this Planet Seekers squad vies for control. Can't quite find it, and Tello is going to set their team up for an attack instead. A nice pounce off the corner right into Ducky's hands. What a good bit of pass work, and Parker, the self-score. That one stings as they almost had the denial.
Yeah, they almost had it, but hey, it's all right. They'll get the point back, or at least they can. It's going to be PS Parker now, moving it forward and down, trying to juke out the entire team, but it's picked up by Anby. Anby going to go for a shot just off that nest, though. One shot once again, picking that one up, flies over up the right side. Tilo going to recover that one. Try and find a pass to Ducky in VR. Ducky in VR now moving it up, having one-on-one with the goalie, going for the shot, and it's in. That is now 3-0 for God Squad.
I mean, what are you seeing here, Retro, with this team and how they're performing on the God Squad side?
Say for the God Squad side, I think they have that great. I think for them, I think they have that great communication with passes, where to go, just chucking that downfield. But I think Planet Seekers does need to kind of step up their defensive play here. And if they do manage to step up their defensive play, I think they might have this in the bag, trying to just defend that entirely. But Planet Seekers is currently in the lead with 1 minute remaining.
No, Planet Seekers down. God Squad in the lead, up 3-0 here as we do get into the push. And Tello looking for another point on the board. God Squad looking to go up 4-0, but that's swatted away. A nice bit of defense.
Yeah, nice bit of defense indeed as it gets wadded over to RKM. Handles that beautifully, though, and just gets it down the field. It's now going to be Mr. Genix, the goalie, moving it forward, trying to get it past those defenders, but Tilo and Anby are right on it. It's going to be another hit from Anby going up. Mr. Genix on the back line, able to get that one. And once again, Tilo with the pressure. Really, really strong pressure. trying to move it forward. 1v3 at the moment, but hey, one shot gets past him, and we're moving downfield more.
Yeah, Tilo doing a great job of being that main threat, that front line, and one shot. Just looking for something. Also, technically running out of time. 50 seconds left. A long, hopeful Hail Mary, but right into the hands of RKM. And now they're looking for that cross. The center out over to the side. Doesn't quite work. Goes right into the hands of Mr. Gene, who looks for a play up through the midfield. But time continues to tick down, and with only 30 seconds left on the clock, that corner play, not exactly optimal play. It's going to end up ticking down the time they have left. And I think at this point, might be mathematically impossible for them to score enough points in time. As God Squad recognizing their 3-0 lead in the situation they're in, they know they just need to buy time. So a little pass back to Ducky and a little stalling on the outside of the goal is going to get them a round win and ultimately a series W for their first round of the North American Swiss bracket.
Yeah, as you said, the first round win for the NA Swiss bracket. Hey, if you guys are curious more about more details about this whole tournament will be given probably after this, I'm going to assume. But yeah, that is the first win going over to God Squad. Retro, what did you see in that arena?
Now, that was a brilliant game. That was brilliant. Great passing plays from God Squad entirely on, you know, how they just worked as a team. They just built that team chemistry just entirely. And it's great. But for the other team, they also did amazing. I have to say, I can see both of these teams getting really, really, really far in the Swiss bracket here. But gotta say, GG's to God Squad. That was incredible.
Couple of good games so far in the NA bracket, to say the least. Definitely fun to tune into. And there's more to come. This is only round one of what could be 8 rounds in this Swiss bracket. So we're going to go to a brief break because every game in our arena is finished. And once every game has been finished in round 1, we'll move on to round 2 where a bunch more games will start and we'll dive right back into the action. So don't go anywhere or check out one of the many other streams that are live as we are spread out across 54 games being played all at the same time. It is the biggest Orion Drift tournament that's been created, and by and large, one of the biggest ones VRML has ever hosted. So awesome to see. Thank you to the community for coming out, and we're looking forward to a lot more action here, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. We are returned for round 2. Took a little while, and we appreciate your patience
Ladies
with our
and
technical
gentlemen, we are
difficulties,
go for
but
launch.
another best of 5 begins with the Squids versus Vortexel to open things up in Arena 2. And Skippy going to kick things off with ball control.
Nightfire, your cam's not on, by the way. But yeah, starting it off, it is the Squids. And they get a quick goal. It's now going to be in the hands of...
No goals have scored yet.
Oh, no goals. I'm wrong. Sorry about that. It's picked up by Circuits now. Circuits is on the Squids. Squids are trying to move it up, trying to get a goal. One-on-one with the goalie. Gets it right in. Good job on Circuits on the Squids.
Yeah, we do have the right side. So Squids is on red, Vortexel on
The
blue,
arena
and the
revs up
opening
again.
goal locked in. Coming in from the Squids. A nice center cross up. Puggy looking to hit that thing through, but Circuits now scoops it up and knocks another point in past
Unbelievable. They've done
Unreal.
it.
Squids putting 2 up on the board in round 1. We'll see if Vortexel can get a little bit of a rhythm
Ball's in
going
play.
here as they dribble their way forward. Another pass forward, another clear up, but right into the hands of Skippy, who scoops it up, tosses it back to the center field, and we continue to battle for ball control in the sewers.
Yeah, the battle for ball control continues as it gets passed over on the Vortexel side. It's now going to be Mr. Jostry going for a long clear, but Maple on the back line, able to recover that for the Squids. Squids now moving up once again, trying to find some passes, maybe just going to go for it. Goes for it, but Unreal OD with the save. And Mr. Jostry nailing it down. And once again, it's a fight for middle.
Yep, back into the sludge in the sewers as we get into some tackling here, and the ball floats around up through the midfield. A nice cross. Maple Oculus on defense scoops it up, knocks it away. Back through the midfield and a good clear. All the way down to Unreal. Skippy and Lynch into the corner looking for the cross pass, but no cigar. Puggy able to deny that one and clear it back out. Maple playing that midfield control point, able to maintain ball control for their team. And good pass work between Skippy and Maple here allow for this setup on the next attach. Maple trying to bounce the ball off the floor, ends up missing a little bit. Skippy goes for the pass, but it's intercepted by Mr. Jobstreet.
Yeah, it's now over on to Maple. Maple getting a handoff to Circuits. Circuits now moving it up through the sewers, trying to get that goal once again. And it's Unreal OD with the stop. Now gets moved around the left side. It's Puggy picking that one up, shooting it all the way down. Looks like it's going to be Circuits first to it. Never mind, Lynch. Sorry about that. It's going to be in the hands of Sean Sea Drifter. Sorry about that. It's going to be picked up now by Skippy with a quick slap over, and it's Pugsy once again trying to find the footing, trying to get that first goal on the board.
Yeah, Lynch looking to regain control here. Skippy pushing up with a nice bit of pass work. Tries to cross it to Circuits, but can't quite. Lynch scoops it up off the top, tries to bounce it off the top. Can't quite get the bounce they were looking for. And a nice clear. All the way down to, again, Maple Oculus, who scoops it up, takes a shot of their own, but it goes to the corner.
Yeah, it
They'll
goes
rebound it, try and reset it, and we go back to the midfield.
Yeah, back to the midfield once again. Maple's going to be going for a pass back. It will be grabbed by Lynch picked up by Maple once again. Maple moving it down through the sewers, up and around, trying to find a pass, maybe even a shot there, but just doesn't connect. Puggy can go for a long shot. Is it in? No, there's a goalie on the back line. Circuits once again moving it forward. Little backhand, going for a shot of his own. Doesn't quite make it though. It's going to be Mr. Jostry fighting for control of it. It's Lynch now. The defenders on Vortexel are really doing a good job. They're putting a stop to all the goal attempts by the Squids. But it's moved forward to middle now.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of playing that aggressive defense, but it's all time that's being bought. There's only 55 seconds left. They've got the 2-0 lead in control by the Squids, and they're essentially just buying time. It's going to force Vortexel to get aggressive as they now try to regain control down into the sewers. Circuits avoiding and playing ring around the sewer as they try to dodge in for another point and ultimately just continue to buy time on the clock.
Yeah, they are still trying to buy time, but a nice quick shot there from Lynch.
Good.
Looking good from the Squids. They're up 3-0 at the moment. But there's still plenty of time as that
Action
ball
starts
gets
in-
taken
oh,
control by
it's
Puggy.
on.
Passing over to Mr. Jostry. Josh Tree gonna move it around over on the left bridge. Left bridge being moved forward, going for a right cross pass, but Lynch is there to put a stop to it real quick. Sea Drifter trying to pick that one up, but it's gonna be Puggy. Puggy moving it forward, trying to find a goal. Going for the shot, but Skippy with the save and the clear.
Yep, gonna go onto that halo, try and work their way up through the midfield circuits. Scoops it up off of a nice little pass. Lynch onto the rebound, gonna go for the 1v1, and they'll make that corner shot over the corner of Unreal. We love to see those accurate shots, and that's actually the round wrapped up. The Squids looking good here on our opening round retro. I mean, what did you think of Squids round one?
Brilliant W from the Squids. Gotta love that offensive play. Looks like he was, going in, trying to pass up to his teammates. Great, just great ball control right there. I have to say for Vortex, great defensive play. That's gonna be really nice for the next round. But yeah, it's gonna be great. They have that good defensive play overall, and love to see it.
Yeah, they just ended up breaking through a couple of times, putting up a couple of points on the board. But like you said, some good swats, some good denial of shots on goal, and maybe we'll get a bit of a closer round going into round number 2, which should be starting up shortly. A shout out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action as we do begin. More Orion Drift coming at you for VRML. It's only the second round of a long day for North America, so do get ready for a lot more of the action as the Squids lead 1-0 in this best of 5.
I gotta say, this is a great round to kick off for the Squids and Vortex. Looks like they're gonna go straight towards the goal with a grand slam! Gotta love it. Gotta love that. Brilliant goal right there. That was amazing. But it looks like they are going to be taking this up in the air, going in. That was just a brilliant point there from the Squids. Looks like Puggy's taking possession of the ball right there, going straight down to near bridge area. Looks like they were just getting pressured, but yeah.
Good cross to that back corner, and Puggy going to get control here. Going to work their way up through that midfield. And, yeah, the opening point for Vortexel puts them finally on the board and in the lead. We love to see them finally getting their first point. Sea Drifter going to regain control. And, yeah, the offense needs to come alive for Vortexel. It's one thing they've been lacking a little bit here. Their defense has been strong, and you can rely on that to some degree. But Maple definitely been a key element in controlling the ball for the Squids squad, and it keeps this team on the offense as that ball gets cleared back into Vortexel zone. And Circus goes for a shot with an unreal save.
Brilliant save right there. Gotta love them saves. They have that great defensive play right there. Looks like they are just going under sewer right now. Looks like they're turning, going straight, but knockout, going straight from the top, going straight from midfield, gonna slam down. Nice defensive play from Unreal Orion Drift right there. Gotta love that save. Looks like they are taking it over to their side, going straight up from the nest, going straight down. Could this be a grand slam? And boom! Right into the goal, folks! On the Vortex.
Another goal locked in from Vortexel.
We're back on it.
And
Here we go.
Skippy gonna get control here in the midfield. Looks for the pass work. Cirque gets links, a good bit of back and forth, trying to throw off the defense, trying to draw him out for an open goal. And a missed shot by Lynch as it knacked off the top of that goal, the top of the backboard. Continue on with, again, ball control staying into the hands of the Squids, but the defense, like we've been seeing from Vortexel, very strong. And with a 2-0 lead and 2.5 minutes left, Vortexel definitely in control of round 2.
Got 2 minutes remaining on the board right now. Looks like Skippy does take possession of the ball, but loses it. Looks like they're just going to be booming it right there. Looks like Maple does have possession right there. Taking it straight up from bridge. Is he going to pass, or is he just going to slam that straight in?
A play.
Gotta love this. Vortexel in the lead right now with 2 minutes remaining.
Kicks off.
But I think the Squids could get enough points with the time we have. Nice W passing play right there. Looks like Maple's going under, taking that ball up. It looks like the goal is free right now. Oh, no, never mind. There is a goalie going to pass this straight up to his teammates. Payment's going to take it in. Oh, that was so close!
And it's in.
From the Squids. Gotta love it.
Finally getting on the board here in round 2 as Puggy going to slap that one over for a nice pass to Mr. Joe's Tree. And Seed Dad looking for a little bit of a rhythm here, looking to add a few more points on the board, but a beautiful interrupt from Maple Oculus as they extend their defense forward here, continuing to be that brawler on the front line for the Squids and making it difficult for Vortexel to add any more to their already 3-1 lead. Time ticks down with a minute left on the clock. Not a lot of opportunities. They got to capitalize. They got to lock a point in here. A great cross to Maple, and that's going to lock in that second point for Squids, chipping away at the 2-point lead from Vortexel.
We are at 2-3 here, folks. We are almost about to get neck and neck. If the Squids do get possession of this and take one more point, this could go to overtime here, folks. Looks like Puggy is taking possession of the ball, but gets knocked out from Circuit. Circuit taking up clock right there. Gonna pass that straight to his teammate. Could this be in? Another pass straight to his teammate. Gotta love the passing plays. Almost hits that in. Oh, God.
Nice denial from Unreal. In goal is C-Dad. Going to rotate out to the corner. And we vie for control in the midfield. Circuit's able to keep the pressure on in the corner by crossing it up to the center. Right to a beautiful save from Unreal. No, they can't keep it. They can't deny it. Eventually, the follow through puts Squids 3-3.
That was incredible.
We're back on it.
We are almost at
Here
the end
we
here,
go.
folks. 3-3. We are about to go into overtime. OT here, folks.
What a game.
Yikes.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe we had the score wrong.
I did not know that. I'm sorry,
To
folks.
every viewer from the busy streets of Earth to the
Hard to
quiet
keep track.
outposts on
We are
distant
doing manual scoring, so we do apologize for that. So we'll figure out what the score is at the start of the next round. But that was a much better appearance from Vortexel. I mean, I think it was a win to the Squids. I think it was 3-2. I don't know that Vortexel had 3 points. But either way, a much better performance there, Aiden, from Vortexel.
Yeah, no, it really was. I mean, you said like mid-round, I think, or like a minute in. That they just need to get their offense together, and they did just that. You know, they really got their offense together. Their defense, though, really strong, able to withstand the constant pressure from the Squids. As you'll see in some of these replays here that Nightfire just pulled up on the stream, you know, their defense is just absolutely insane, and their offense is getting up to that level as well. I think they could definitely have a chance of taking it.
Some big denials coming in right now as we get ready for round number 3 in this best of 5 series. And once that ball launches, we'll report the scores back to you as we do get into the action. And already Vortexel losing control or gaining control back in the sewers. Mr. Josty trying to push forward.
Yeah, trying to push forward. It is in that. I think that was Pugsy.
And that's oh my circuit.
Pugsy has
What a
possession
goal.
though on the side of Vortexel. They are gonna move that one forward, and looks
they're
like
not
gonna
wasting
go for
any
a pass over to the nest. Sea Drifter trying to pick it off, but Lynch is there with the slap, and Unreal OT on the back line able to recover.
Nice scoop up. Skippy scooping it again, though, and looking for the shot down onto the goal. Unreal OD not ready to defend. And it's a quick 2 points for the Squids here.
We're live once
Yeah, it's
more.
in the hands once again of Pugsy. Going for another pass to Mr. Josh. Not able to connect, though, as it's Lynch pushing it forward through the sewers, up and around, and Mr. Joshua with the stop. It's going to go up now to Circuits. Circuits in the sky, going for a pass over to Skippy. Skippy skipping right over, trying to find another pass to Circuits. Not finding it. And, well, he found it, but it's not entirely a clear pass. It's picked up by Seed, once again moving it down the line.
Little brawl in the midfield for contention here as Lynch.
Oh, no.
Ooh, a nice little surprise from the sewer as Joestree disrupts that move forward. Circuits again scooping it up, trying to set up the cross to Skippy, and Skippy trying to redirect back towards goal, but can't quite get their momentum in order. Circuits with a good cross pass, really just buying time as they ebb and flow with this Vortexel offense. back to the sewers, and again, time just ticks down. 3 minutes left on the clock, and a 2-point lead for the Squids.
Yeah, 2-point lead for the Squids now. Skippy's going to be moving that one up, trying to find another shot, but wow. Once again, that defense on the line of Vortexel is right there and ready. It's going to get moved over now. It's Maple. We know Maple is a seriously tough offender. So it's a pass over to Lynch. Lynch going for it. Besieged once again with the clear. Circuits on the back line trying to pick it up. Not able to get it though. It's a fight for it right now. Mr. Josh Tree trying to get there first. Circuits still trying to recover it. Trying to get some leeway. Mr. Josh Tree really putting the pressure on though. And it's a clear from Circuits.
Solid bit of work on the defense. Again, we're seeing good defense from Squids, too, making it difficult for this Vortexel squad to really even get set up through the midfield. We're not seeing a lot of full pushes. We're not seeing a lot of cross passes coming in. And we're seeing a lot of struggling in the sewers from the Vortexel offense when they try and push past the Squids. And so ultimately, Squids have just had a lot of ball control in this round. And it's really paying off as we get into 2 minutes left and a 2-point lead. They're going to run out of time eventually. The long shot there comes through, but a little bit wide.
Yeah, it is a little bit wide. On this 4v4 build, some of you Orion Drifters might notice that the goals are a bit smaller than our normal ones, and the arenas are a lot bigger. These are different settings, and yeah, it kind of just makes it more competitive, more difficult for teams to score, and just move around. But I think it works. Anyways, picked up by Mr. Josh Tree in the sewers once again. Maple gonna push that one up through the hole. And it's Mr. Josh Tree once again trying to find some leeway, looking for a shot there, but Lynch on the back line once again, moving it forward. And just going to go for a pass over to Skippy. Skippy, once again, skipping around, trying to find a pass. Does find one over at Lynch. No boost, though. Not able to get it, unfortunately.
Yeah, didn't have the extra bit of height that they wanted there, as the pass to Skippy doesn't go quite right over into the corner of the arena, as Mr. Josh Tree now going to do a little bit of wall riding, pushing and gliding up to that front line, looking for a shot, an opportunity just to the corner, goes wide, and the follow-up comes through. Finally, Vortexel put a point on the board in round 3, but it's only one of 2 that they'll need to tie this up, and with 50 seconds left, yeah, you're going to see this delayed opening offensive push and a little bit of a scramble for ball control. Uh-oh, an intercept? No, not quite. Slapped up to Lynch. Pug does scoop it up, though, and now here comes the push in. Maybe an opportunity for a cross to pass up top, and no, they cannot get the slam down into goal. We go back to the midfield.
Yeah, back to the midfield. Lynch trying to get a hand on it, but it's Sea Drifter once again grabbing that one, and looks like it will be down. Circuit's going to try his best to recover that one. Looks like Lynch will end up recovering it with a nice pass to Skippy to follow up. Skippy now going to go up on the nest. A nice pass to Circuit. Circuit's going in, trying to find the goal, but Mr. Josh Tree once again on the defense, and what a play it was. What a save. Sea Drifter now pushing forward. Ooh, might have a goal opportunity here. They're going to try their best to make it happen.
And
Falls
that
down and
concludes today's
spikes.
match. To all our viewers, whether you're watching from the comforts
that
of
is the
Earth or
round
the
going
frontier
over
of
to
human
Squids.
exploration, thank you for
Yep, I think that is also the series getting locked in by the Squids, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you are right.
Yeah, 3-round win, getting locked in there. So congratulations to the Squids. We're going to go to a brief break, look for another game to dive into. And when we come back, more NA Pioneer Cup action. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. We are unfortunately going to halt the NA broadcast and NA tournament this afternoon. We've run into several major technical difficulties, mostly because of the size of the tournament. With over 54 games getting played at the same time, we've run into a few issues here and there that have sprung up. We have solutions for them, thankfully. It just is going to take time for our production team to code and program those solutions. So what we have done is put a pause on the NA bracket, the NA Swiss bracket, and it will resume tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST, the same time we were going to start the round robin. We'll finish the Swiss bracket on Sunday, and then the finals will be played the following weekend. It is unfortunate, but that's the way we're going to have to do things this afternoon so we can maintain at least a smooth process for the NA players. So while we did have issues and we did find some problems, we are finding solutions. And so I do think tomorrow will be smoother. It also doesn't impact other streams, so we will still see OCE and EU play out their round-robin stages later today, technically, for 11 p.m. PST or 1 Eastern if you're wanting to watch OCE, and then EU firing up at 9 a.m. PST, 12 Eastern. So a lot of action for the Orion Drift tournament, the Pioneer Cup left ahead of us, but for now, for NA, we are going to be ending our streams across the VRML network, and we'll be returning with you when OCE begins in really just a few hours from now. So a lot more Orion Drift content this weekend. We appreciate your patience with our timeouts and ultimately enjoying the games that we did have, but that will be it for us this afternoon. My name's been Nightfire with 2 E's. My co-casters Retro, Cat, Rydile, and Aiden. Thank you all for tuning in and hanging out. Stay classy. Where's credits? Hard to find sometimes.
Hey, Night.
Orion Drift VRML is brought to you by Another Axiom, Helga, the esports manager. Thanks for watching VRML.